What's going on, everybody? Passion here once again with another video. I finally found a cool and quiet place to record for the most part, so we're gonna do this here. I just got finished watching the 2020 Ubisoft Forward little digital event. Apparently, uh, from the looks of it, it looks like Ubisoft is kind of giving up on E3 entirely. Because they said at the end of the show that there will be another one of these in the fall. So it looks like they're kind of going the Nintendo route and just saying, no, let's just do these from now on. So that's going to be kind of interesting, an E3 without Ubisoft. But anyways, they did their first Ubisoft Forward presentation today, and I want to share my initial impressions on it, just like I've done with the other, digital events during this weird Corona-inspired non E3. So I mean, there's just a few things I wanted to talk about. The first being Watch Dogs Legion. Watch Dogs Legion still impresses me to this day. I'm trying to find where the limit is for the technology, because obviously it can't be as good as they're making it out to be. There's got to be some limitations somewhere. There's no way in hell that they can make that game as good as they're talking about making it. Obviously, a lot of the core features that they've kept saying are there are definitely there. But I want to know where the line is. Where's the limit of the technology? Where's the limit of the budget? Where's the limit of all this stuff that makes a game? I want to know where the line is with this game. But despite my me trying to peer into this and see what it's actually going to be like, despite all that, I think the game is still going to be fun. I'm excited to play it. I am super excited and happy to see that it was initially pushed back until 2021 because of the pandemic, but it is actually now pushed back its release date to October. I believe it's sometime I can't remember the exact date, but sometime in October of this year. So this fall is going to be absolutely crawling with games that are going to be huge. I mean, Cyberpunk is going to be a big one coming out, but between Watch Dogs Legion and I believe they said Assassin's Creed Valhalla is coming out in the fall. So there's going to be so many huge games this fall, you guys. We're not going to have enough time to play all these. So there was that, which I'm still really excited for that one. And Hyperscape is another one I wanted to talk about. Hyperscape, when it was first announced, and I saw it was kind of gaining popularity on Twitch, I wasn't too eager to hop on board because I was kind of one of the early adopters of Bleeding Edge, and that game kind of tended to not go anywhere. I thought it was going to get a lot bigger than it did. So I was skeptical to embrace Hyperscape when that was announced. But the gameplay and the pre-render stuff they had did look pretty fun. The characters looked fun, and what's interesting about Hyperscape is that it seems like they're actually trying to make a story out of it. They're not just gonna be doing it like Fortnite, where it's kind of like a half-assed ARG kind of a story, but they're actually trying to incorporate the story a lot more heavily into the game world, which I think is interesting. And like I said, the characters look interesting. It just looks like a fun game. I'm willing to at least try it, and of course the beta opened for all players today. So as soon as I can, I'll be hopping on the open beta, trying that out. Apparently they're giving you a free 30-tier battle pass for anyone who joins the open beta. So that's good. And I'm excited to see if I end up liking Hyperscape. I will give it a try. It's not something that, I'm instantly becoming a die-hard massive fan of, but I am eager to see where that goes, and I will give it a try. It is free to play on PC right now, so I will definitely give that one a try when I can. So next thing I want to talk about was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, for all of the past Assassin's Creed games, even the ones I never played, which is a lot of them at this point, I stopped playing Assassin's Creed after Unity, and I kept telling myself I was going to pick up more Assassin's Creed games, and I haven't. Um, but all of them, even up to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, uh, looked fun to me. I just never picked them up. This Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, is the first one that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Um, and I'm getting a lot of like the same vibes that I got from the Watch Dogs, Last of Us Part 2 reveal when that first happened a while back. I think it was last year. And in the sense that I get the sense that they're trying to be shocking for the sake of being shocking. They tried to preface all the brutal violence and stuff saying, well, oh, Vikings actually weren't all that brutal. They were actually just farmers trying to find land, but then proceeded to go on saying, look at all the brutal things you can do as a Viking. And that kind of really was a tonal, like, kind of misfire with me. Like, I didn't like how they handled that reveal. I didn't like, yes, Assassin's Creed has always been trying to stay as historically accurate as possible, and yes, historically, Vikings were brutal. But I think that they kind of reveled in that a little bit too much for my taste. I wish they had toned it back a little bit, or at least, even if it's made up, like give some kind of better reason for why they're being so brutal. Especially the whole segment where you can raid villages, that kind of really struck me as unnecessarily cruel and unnecessarily violent. Like, why would you have that in the game? Like, it's so much of a power fantasy that it's throwing ethics out the window. I think that's the problem that some games, not all violent video games. I'm not against violence in video games whatsoever, but some games kind of do rub me that way, where it's like, let's focus so much on the power fantasy that we completely throw out ethics. And you can point to a select few games throughout history where that has happened. And I feel like this one is also kind of one of them. So for the first time, I'm actually not excited whatsoever to pick up the next Assassin's Creed game. So I will not be picking up Assassin's Creed Valhalla when that comes out. I'm a little bit disappointed that game is not going to be as good as I was hoping it was going to be. Yeah, plus the graphics didn't look that good either. Like, I was kind of shocked at how bad the graphics looked. I know I'm kind of wondering if people are going to be complaining about that the way they did the initial look at the Xbox Series X games, which they said, oh, well, the graphics suck. But I would argue that these graphics in Valhalla sucked more than those initial Xbox Series X graphics. So I'm going to be curious to see if people are making us think about it online. So we'll see about that. But yeah, it was kind of one thing I wanted to mention about how turned off I now am to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And of course, the final thing, which unfortunately was kind of ruined by a leak a couple days ago. I don't know who exactly leaked it, but it was leaked that Far Cry 6 is coming, and they ended the presentation with Far Cry 6, which leads me to believe that they didn't that they weren't intending for this leak to come out. They were not anticipating this leak whatsoever. Sometimes you'll see like a company announce something close to their big reveal, but like not but they'll have stuff ready for that pre-event reveal. To me, with Far Cry 6, it felt like the reveal was really ruined for Ubisoft by this leak. Because as far as I saw, a lot of the stuff that was coming out for the game was from the leak, and the only thing Ubisoft directly did is they showed one GIF from the little cinematic that they showed to promote the game, a tiny little GIF with one tweet, and that was all they had. So they must have just quickly ripped a GIF from the cinematic and threw it up as a tweet to acknowledge that, okay, yeah, we've been leaked. Here's, tune in tomorrow, I guess. and it really showed because that was the last thing they ended on. It was the one more thing kind of thing like Nintendo does. So it shows me that they really were not intending for that leak to come out. Some leaks are more impactful than others, and I think that this one was kind of really hurtful to Ubisoft. Not saying that that it was completely wrong to leak it, but you can tell like they were not prepared for this whatsoever for this game to be leaked. But on the merits of the game itself, I am more excited than I thought I was going to be. Like, I've kind of always had like a love-hate relationship with Far Cry. I've played a few of the Far Cry games, had a little bit of fun, but I keep buying them. Like, it's not like a series that I'm super diehard for or anything. But and when I have played them, I haven't really had too much fun. I mean, Far Cry 5 was probably the best one that I've played. I did have quite a bit of fun with Far Cry 5, but Far Cry 4 I was not feeling whatsoever. But I still kept buying Far Cry, so I played those too. And this one does look fairly interesting. It looks like it's taking place like in a present day kind of thing where it's some Latin American city or Latin American country that is completely on the brink of war, pretty much. With it's like a brink of civil war where you have citizens with different ideologies fighting each other, and the president is going to be the bad guy with his son being his protege and stuff, which I think is a really cool dynamic. How the villain has a son, which is something we haven't really seen much in Far Cry at all. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. The cinematic was really shocking and tense and really set the mood for the game. The whole atmosphere of the vibe that I got for the game was really, just like Far Cry 5 was very politically influenced by the current culture that we have in politics. So I'm actually quite excited to see how Far Cry 6 turns out. That's coming out on February 18th, I do believe. So this coming early winter, we should have the new Far Cry game, and it looks pretty good. I'm sure we'll hear more about that in the fall Ubisoft Forward that is coming out later this year. But I guess that's kind of all I had to say about the Ubisoft Forward conference. Of course, I have to give it a letter grade, most anticipated game, and I'm probably gonna give it a letter grade of a D. It's not to say that it was bad. Like I know I've rated other ones that were kind of bad a D in the past, but I think this is probably more of a D plus than a straight D or D minus, because there was a couple instances where I got a little bit excited, but based on the way that this presentation unfolded and how it was a lot of developer talking and stuff like that, like, it really didn't solidify my excitement for these games, and these are games that I am prepared to wait for. Unlike some of the ones that I've rated higher, where I gotta play this right now. So I'm giving a letter grade of a D. And I think my most anticipated game of show is probably Watch Dogs Legion. Super excited to see when that comes out this October. Get my hands on that. I will probably be playing that at some point this year. So thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, I will be back to cover the Xbox show, which has finally been revealed to be coming on July 23rd. Super, super excited to see what Xbox has in store. Of course, I'm already committed to the Series X at this point, so we'll see what Xbox brings. I hope I see the next Forza game in there and everything. But that is all I had to say for it today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.